you like, weave 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 you like.
Hey everybody, welcome back to How You Livin'
with Dr. Kiva
and Robin B. We've been gone for a while, but we're back, y'all, in full effect.
in full effect. I know.
And so how you doing, Dr. Kiva, first of all?
Oh, I'm living good.
She's living good.
And how are you living?
I'm living good. And I think the only way our audience is really going to get to know us is let's interview each other for a change. And that way the audience gets to find out what makes Dr. Kiva tick.
Yeah, and what makes a Robin B?
Okay. So how about you interview me first?
Oh, that's already got my question.
All righty. I'm ready.
So, we're going to have these episodes so you can get to know us a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So, the first thing, tell me about yourself or tell our listeners
Okay.
about who you are.
Okay, so I am a former Yankee, but now I'm a Texan. That just means I was born and raised in Boston, member of big family, middle child. My middle child syndrome was so bad that my family lost me at the beach one time. They didn't even know I was missing, and some very kind family held on. Did I ever tell you that story?
No.
I had to write an essay on that. And so this very nice family just held on to me until my mother finally realized I was missing.
Oh.
So that is one of the perils of being a middle child.
I got you.
But I have 3 brothers, 3 sisters. Moved down here in the 80s. I don't want to age myself too much.
Fair enough.
And I have 1 child and 1 grandchild, and my child is actually obviously old enough to get me to have a grandchild. And I'm married. And what other questions do you have?
So outside of work,
Okay.
what are your passions or your hobbies outside of work?
I am obsessed with healing. Obsessed with finding natural remedies for everybody and anybody in my wake. And so, yeah, and I kind of fell into that. But that's like now that's the hobby I have, is constantly doing all kinds of research and figuring out how to heal somebody and to heal myself. And
what's something recent you just learned?
Okay, well, that's a very good question. I have, as you know, I am big on hormonal. That's like the thing, because I had such a bad time with my hormones. So I decided to put a lot of focus on that. So a lot of my customers, they do use my menopause tea, but it doesn't quite hit for the excess sweating. So I did a lot of research, like a mad scientist, and I created a brand new blend. I call it the Booster Blend, because it's good for some people. But so that's one of the things I do. But I got into this world because I was very, very sick. I had this this really weird mystery illness back in 2006. And every doctor I went to was puzzled. They had no idea what to do with me. So they sent me home sick. And so my little brother brought me to an herbalist, a Chinese herbalist. He was very old. And he made a custom tea for me, which healed me. And so that's how I was introduced into the holistic world in the first place.
Okay.
And so that became my obsession, really. So it's not just tea, though. It's also supplement. Anything that's natural, anything that's from the earth, I'm all for. Essential oils. I use essential oils every day as well.
So with that being said, we have a lot of people who are business owners, right?
Uh-huh.
How do you handle that work-life balance?
That's a very good question. And you clearly don't. I don't think, as an entrepreneur, you don't. And you know this because you have several businesses. So there kind of is not much of a work-life balance unless you figure it out. Now, you can, but I think early on in your entrepreneurial career, you got to just stay laser focused. And really, I go to sleep thinking of the next thing. I go to bed thinking of the next thing.
Okay, with that being said, how do you set what's a priority? How do you do your tasks?
That's very good. Ooh, good questions. Okay. Well, if I don't live by my list, I'm lost. So I'm the queen of lists. I'm always making a list. And then I have to prioritize. And I tell you what, some days I will make myself binge watch, okay? I might take a day off, because I'm not going to burn out. I can't allow myself. Even though I said what I said, I still do. I will say, you know what? I need some TV time. So I get a big old thing of laundry, because I don't ever sit still. And as long as I'm binging, I'm folding laundry.
Oh, funny.
I cannot just sit still and watch TV. So that's what I do.
Okay, so anyone who knows us knows we're kind of yin and yang.
Very much so.
Energy-wise. So
Right.
how would you describe your energy to someone?
Oh, spastic. I hate to say that, but I know me. I mean, I probably talk in my sleep. I'd be surprised if I didn't. But my mother said I've been this way since I was born.
So you came out the womb.
I came out the womb running my mouth. As a child, I stayed in trouble from talking. As a corporate America person, I stayed in trouble from talking. I mean, I stay in trouble from running my mouth. When I went to school, you know what my professors would say, Miss Marshall, I was Marshall then. Miss Marshall, and one time though, so I felt so bad, I went and I apologized to the professor, and I said, I just want to apologize for disrupting your class. He said, I love having you in my class. And so that was a very big surprise. Even though they chastised me, I keep it live. I keep it lively.
So with your personality type, do you stress, or and if you do stress or don't stress, how do you handle it personally?
I wouldn't say I stress anymore. I used to stress, but a lot of reading, a lot of things that I had to learn how to I almost say self-medicate, but that's with education. Watching videos. I'm just trying to understand how meditation works. But I've read books that really helped me level set, that helped me look at things in perspective. So instead of stressing, I try to stay positive, but I know my energy is high level. So I feel very joyful, which helps. I wasn't always that way. I was, I seemed like I was angry a lot back in the old days. But I literally read this one book that literally changed my whole perspective. It really made a big difference. I give that book as a gift now, and it's called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle.
So why did that change your perspective?
Because I guess I read it when I needed to. I read that book. I was in corporate America for like 23 years, okay? I read that book sort of like the angels told me to get that book one day, because it's like one day after I read a certain passage that said, live today, don't worry about tomorrow, don't be stressed about if things are out of your control and things change, look at it as a gift, look at it as an adventure, because the next day I was laid off. I literally thought I was going to retire from that company. If I hadn't read that book, I would have been totally devastated. So I panicked for a minute and I said, you know what? That book was perfect timing. Now let's see what my next adventure is. And so every time something changes in my life, I figure that the universe is telling me it's time for a new adventure.
Okay, so with that, with your type of high energy personality, how do you accept criticism and feedback?
That's so, what I was told by my kinesiologist, clairvoyant person, that I'm very defensive. So I'm gonna eat that because I can be defensive, and I try to. And she's not a judgy person, so I know she said it from love, and so I know. I don't know if it's a Libra trait, but I definitely can be defensive. So when someone criticizes me, my first instinct is to push back. But
Boston comes out.
That Boston comes out. But I'm gonna try. I try to receive it. So it depends on how I get it. It depends on how I get it, I say. And so I also try to give it that same way. I try not to go, you should have never done that. I try not to go there.
And is it working for you?
Yeah, kind of. Kind of. You have excellent questions. But I have no idea. I don't really put myself in a place where I'm going to get criticized a lot. I don't think I do a lot of things that will cause me to be criticized.
So what words of wisdom would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self to don't be so hard. If I'm going to keep it really real, I did not like my younger self at all. I really did not feel worthy. And it took a lot. And I don't want to get emotional. Who knew Robin could get emotional? Yes! But I was a very unhappy young person. I really was. I came from a very dysfunctional childhood, so that didn't help. But it took people like, I'm going to give him a lot of credit, my husband, because he takes Robin any kind of way she comes, and God bless him for that. I don't know why or how, why God blessed me with a person like that, because I'm a lot. And so that really helped me feel worthy, because if I'm good enough, because that wasn't always my case and other relationships. You know, you have to mold to go with the flow of
Right.
whoever that person is, or you can't really be yourself, and that's no fun. So I can be as ridiculously goofy or whatever, and you know, he accepts me that way. So that really did help. It helps to have someone in your life to see your value, and it took many years for me to see that.
So, does Robin love Robin now?
Robin loves Robin. Yes, Robin. I love myself, the person that I am. But you know, we see flaws.
Right,
So
right.
I'm not. We're not going to go about me needing to lose 10, 15 pounds. But I feel like I'm a very good person. I have nothing but love. I really do. I try to give love. I try to would like my presence on this earth to be a good impact on people. You know.
So, do you think that with what you're doing now with the holistic practice, are you on mission?
Yes.
Is this what the divine wanted you to do?
Oh, yes. Very good way. Thank you for putting it that way. I feel like if we don't find our purpose, I don't want to die with regret. And I feel like absolutely I'm living my purpose right now. You know, it just makes me feel so damn good when somebody calls me and says, oh, thank you, you know, that worked for me, or whatever the case may be. Or if I get a call, which I get calls a lot from people say, you know, do you have something for, yesterday I got a call for fibromyalgia. And so I'll go to my little book, my little, my little directory, and I'll find several herbs for, that can put something like that together. So yeah, I feel like I am living my purpose. I'm really grateful. I feel like that's why I got laid off. I said, God didn't want me making Mr. IBM all that money. He said, so I'm out there and just something that.
Your company is called You Endure.
You Endure.
Why?
And let me
You Endure.
That's a very good question. This woman, I'm telling you, Dr. Kiva. Okay, so I bought my company. Okay, when I got into this holistic world, there's a couple of things fell into place where I said, okay, I want to be a business owner. I didn't always want to be a business owner, but I decided it would be good. Oh, I was helping somebody else who was an entrepreneur, and I said, hey, I like that idea. I like that world. So the opportunity came for me to buy a business. And then it just happened to be an online business, an e-commerce, which is a lot easier. And so the company was called You Endure. And initially it was a tea business, but he was going to expand it to do like outdoor stuff. So he played on the word that you endure, no matter what.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, I'll keep that name, And then the only thing I did was change it to, now it's called You Endure Tea Company. Makes life easier,
Okay.
So, but yeah, one day, people have definitely recommended I change the name. Maybe I will one day, but right now I think it's working.
So what's the big dream if we could have anything in the world?
That's a good question.
Let's start with where you would see You Endure go.
Okay, if I have my way, and this is my long-term dream for You Endure, to not just be a tea company, but really to have like what you do. I would love it to be a whole body company, a wellness company, even fitness gear, and have my own supplements, have my, anything that's going to help you live a better life and help you heal yourself without chemicals. I would love to see You Endure do that. That's going to be my goal. And of course, make it more global as well.
Okay, more global, huh?
Yeah, girl. I love doing business with Africa. That's one of my favorite things right now. But I would love for You Endure to be part of it. Right now I'm just importing. But if I could export to other countries, that would be awesome. And educate them. So I'm just starting out the talking stuff. So if I have my way, I would do tea talks. I do more educational stuff and share, not just in the U.S., but anyone who needs to understand how your body heals itself.
So for anyone who's listening who wants to get into any kind of business, what advice would you give them?
I would say, first of all, just know your numbers. Know what you can afford. Don't go into debt. So one of the things I did do that I regret, and I'm going to admit it, is I used my own money, and that was not a good idea. Use other people's money. Definitely, even if it means get a loan for now. But make sure you have a good business plan, a business model, so you can pay that money back. But then get as many grants as possible. Women businesses, minority businesses, historically underutilized businesses, there's a lot of grant money out there. And so that's one of my, deficiencies. I need to do better with grants. But I would recommend people to do that. Use the company I use. I'm a big fan. There's a company that does all the vetting for you, and that's how I ended up getting my company, and it's called Empire Flippers. So if you go to Empire Flippers, it's sort of like shopping. It's like in a mall, a business mall, so to speak. And so these are businesses that are being sold. The people are done with it. And so they do all the vetting. They tell you what the multiples are. You can see how much that company's made in the past 12 months. You can look at, lift up the curtain and see all the details of that business. And then when you buy it, you get all their assets. You get, like, this company already came with its trademark, and all that sort of thing. It came with all the social media already. So that's the best way to do it. And then you buy the company, you buy the inventory. It's like a business in a box. So to me, it's better than starting from scratch because you've got something that is tried and true.
Okay. So what I didn't ask you is tea. Why is tea health? What's the health benefit of that? Why tea?
Well, if it wasn't for Dr. Dang, I wouldn't know. I always drank tea out. My son will tell you, he used to buy me tea stuff for every Christmas, every Mother's Day, every birthday. All I ever got was tea stuff. So I've always been a tea freak. Okay, but after Dr. Dang, after I went to the Chinese doctor, that's how I learned that tea, and the tea is just herbs, it's just stuff from the earth. But that's how I found out it could heal you. I had no idea. So I'm literally obsessed every day of my life. I've got so many books. Every single day I'm figuring out what tea does for what. Because I have a lot of friends who have a lot of health problems. So I'm definitely committed and hell-bent on fixing them.
So one last question. What is the one thing you want people to know about you when watching our show?
I want people to know that they will be definitely much, much richer in their lives by watching our show. Dr. Kiva and I was just going to break it down. Dr. Kiva and I are literally on a mission. Are we not on a mission to really explore every aspect of wellness? And so anyone who's watching the show is going to get something out of it. And that means we're living our purpose as a team as well. So my goal is for us to get this message out to everybody because knowledge is power.
Okay, Schoolhouse Rock.
Hey!
Well, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. Any other questions you could think of, we'll figure it out down the line, right?
So with that, we got to know you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. And now next we're going to get to know you. Oh. And I am so looking forward to it.
I'm not ready.
Dr. Kiva, if you know anything about Dr. Kiva, she stays ready. So
you have all our social media. So how do people get to follow us and contact us via social media?
Okay. Number one. Number two, several things. You guys can email us also at howyoulivin@gmail.com, believe it or not. How You Livin, with no G. How You Livin at Gmail, but we'll put it all up there as well.
Right.
Our Instagram is How You Live in Houston. That's it. Instagram, How You Live in Houston, and also Facebook, How You Live in Houston.
Yes.
And then we also have a YouTube channel, so we're going to be, sharing more stuff with you guys.
Exactly.
But we're just happy to be back, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And we're going to have fun.
And thank you for the 20 questions.
You
I
are more
appreciate
than welcome.
it.
Hope
You're
you
next.
20.
So what we will tell you guys, what we love to ask our audience all the time is, how you living? Peace.
Wave it like in the air. Wave like you just don't care. Wave like you feeling good. Wave your life for your hood. Wave your life. Wave your life. Wave your life. Wave your life. Wave your life in the air. Wave like you just don't care. Wave like you feeling good. Wave your life for your hood. Wave your life. Wave your life. Wave your life. Wave your